I just saw Stan and Ollie, which is about the lives of Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. And I'm old enough to where Laurel and Hardy were on reruns on television.
Yeah, on TV. Yeah.
So I guess right off the bat, I was curious, playing a real person and someone who had such a filmed history, how you went about doing research and creating someone that was more than, just an impersonation or an impression.
Well, what I thought was smart about the script is that it wasn't concentrating on their heyday. People our age and older will be familiar with Laurel and Hardy's movies because they were, like you said, did reruns on TV for many years. When we were little kids, I guess in the late 70s, mid to late 70s, we would have been seeing this stuff on TV.
Yeah.
Which was already 40 years after their heyday. Now it's 80 years after their heyday.
Right.
They were the biggest comedy stars in the world for a period. Their movies were translated into all different languages all around the world. Not only that, they recorded each movie they did, they recorded each scene like 4 or 5 times in different languages and learnt it phonetically.
Right, like the Beatles had to go record in German.
Exactly, so they would literally do everything over and over, and they were known by different names all around the world. They're not known as Laurel and Hardy, they're known as like colloquial names, and so they were hugely successful. But we concentrate on a tour they did in the 1950s, which is 20 years after their heyday. They were already kind of washed up. In researching this, I was like, why were they doing that? Oh, because they didn't get a good deal. And that starts to say, well, there's a story there. There's a story behind that. And there's no biopics fall apart when they try and check every box of someone's life. The best way to look at someone's life, I think, poetically, is to take a snapshot, a certain period of life. And from that, you can extrapolate. You can find out who they were. You can find out the story of their life by taking a slice out of it. I mean, and then you do research and you find stuff out. In the same way that the script concentrates on this period when they were on tour. And we know about the tours. There's some footage around. Stan Laurel used to live right here in Santa Monica in his retirement. And he was in the phone book, and people would call him up down here.
Really?
And talk to him on the phone. And Dick Van Dyke called him up when he was a young guy and talked to him on the phone. And a lot of people would call him and have a conversation. He would have a proper conversation with them, talk to them about his Laurel and Hardy days. And in his retirement, even when Oliver Hardy was dead, he would write letters, answer every single letter written to him, type them out himself on his typewriter in his apartment down here, and send them out to fans. And one guy, and a few of the guys who called him up, recorded the phone conversations. And I listened to those recordings.
So you heard the older man.
Yeah, so I got an insight into his personality. So when you do research, we'd figure out that, well, the characters they performed were a manifestation of themselves because they created it. So who they are on screen is a clue to who they were in reality. Although Stan Laurel was the genius behind the whole operation. He wrote everything, he controlled everything, he directed a number of them, and Oliver just wanted to go off and play golf.
Right.
And so we have the pieces of the jigsaw, and some of it is we don't have all the pieces, and we just have to, I guess, try and recreate or manufacture the missing pieces of the jigsaw to make a picture that makes sense.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you like what you just saw, then why not subscribe? Click right here for lots more off camera. And if you want to see the hour-long version of these conversations, I'm going to give you the secret link. Here it is, offcamera.com. Check it out.